What if I told you that one man bent the entire sea toward Troy?
His name was Achilles, warrior, legend, and the man whose fury would shape the fate of Troy forever. The Greek fleet advanced in silence, each man sensing the storm of blood and destiny approaching Troy's sands.
Patroclus studied Achilles closely, noticing a rare heaviness in his eyes. Something unspoken, something unsettling.
Achilles carried a secret from the night before, a warning whisper that clung to him like a shadow.
As dawn fully broke, Troy's towering walls emerged from the haze, daring the invaders to step onto its beach.
Trojan soldiers rushed into formation, shields locking, arrows drawn, determined to crush the approaching Greek tide.
Before any commander gave the signal, Achilles stepped ahead, his voice steady. I will go first.
The first Greek ship struck the sand, and Achilles leapt forward before the hull even settled. He sprinted alone toward the Trojan line, arrows darkening the sky above him, yet he never slowed. The first Trojan warrior rushed him, spear aimed high, yet Achilles moved as if anticipating the strike before it happened.
Another Trojan charged from behind, but Achilles twisted sharply, driving him into the sand with brutal efficiency. But concealed among the rocks, an archer watched Achilles closely, drawing an arrow aimed directly at his heel.
The Greek soldiers hesitated, stunned by the sight of Achilles seeming to tear a path through Troy's defenders alone. Where Achilles passed, shields shattered and bodies fell, forming a violent corridor carved by unstoppable force.
He's not human! He fights like something forged by the gods!
Then Troy's elite Dardanian fighters advanced, determined to surround Achilles and stop the relentless slaughter consuming the shoreline.
They closed in around him, forming a deadly ring, meant to crush even the strongest Greek champion.
But Achilles only smiled, calm, confident, welcoming the challenge as if destiny itself demanded this confrontation. Steel clashed violently as Achilles exploded into motion, each strike fueled by controlled fury and the weight of unspoken prophecy.
The night before, Achilles dreamed of his mother, warning him that glory would grant him.
He awoke with that prophecy burning inside him, knowing destiny had already claimed him before battle even began.
Even surrounded by elite warriors, Achilles stood firm, as if fate itself protected him from every blade.
Achilles launched forward with explosive speed, breaking the circle before it fully closed, shattering shields with overwhelming force. One by one, Troy's finest fell, unable to match the precision and fury guiding Achilles' every strike. Watching their elite collapse, Trojan soldiers faltered, fear spreading through their ranks like wildfire across dry fields.
Seeing Achilles carve a path alone, the Greek soldiers finally surged forward, inspired by what seemed beyond human strength.
The beach erupted into chaos as both armies clashed, sand turning red beneath the weight of relentless combat.
Unstoppable, Achilles pushed deeper into Trojan lines, every movement a weapon, every breath charged with purpose.
Realizing they were losing ground, a final group of Trojans formed a desperate shield wall, hoping to halt Achilles' advance. Achilles lowered his spear and charged the shield wall with terrifying speed, determined to break their formation in one strike. His spear slammed into the wall, splintering shields and sending warriors staggering backward under the sheer force.
The Trojan line collapsed, their once solid defense crumbling as Achilles carved through their formation like a storm. Panic surged through the Trojan ranks as word spread that Achilles had broken their strongest defense with almost no resistance. The Greeks roared as they advanced, emboldened by Achilles' fury tearing open the battlefield before them.
Trojans attempted a desperate counterattack, forming smaller groups to slow Achilles, though none held for long.
No matter how many surrounded him, Achilles advanced relentlessly, driven by fate, fury, and something deeper unspoken.
Between clashes, Achilles paused briefly, scanning the battlefield as if searching for destiny's next step.
Fresh Trojan reinforcements rushed from the inland roads, determined to push the Greeks back before the beach was completely lost. The sea crashed behind them as steel met steel again, the shoreline trembling under the weight of mounting conflict.
The fresh Trojan reinforcements collided with Achilles' path, realizing too late the unstoppable force they were confronting.
He struck with precision, dismantling their momentum before it could form, turning their coordinated rush into scattered panic. Behind them, waves slammed harder, echoing the chaos and amplifying the brutality consuming Troy's shoreline.
With Achilles pushing forward, Greek warriors secured the beachhead, driving back defenders who once seemed unbreakable.
For a heartbeat, Achilles revealed exhaustion beneath his fury, proof that even legends carry the weight of destiny.
A group of Trojans attempted to flank Achilles, hoping to catch him before he regained momentum. Without hesitation, Achilles pivoted and countered, breaking their flank before it could trap the advancing Greek forces. Seeing every tactic fail, Trojan morale shattered, their line fragmenting under the pressure Achilles relentlessly delivered.
For the first time, it became clear the beach no longer belonged to Troy. Greece had seized the advantage decisively.
Amid victory, Achilles stood alone, breathing heavily, knowing this triumph carried a cost destiny would soon claim. For a moment, the battlefield quieted, as if all of Troy paused to witness Achilles' unstoppable rise. Achilles scanned the field, gauging the shifting tides of battle, calculating where destiny required him to strike next. Suddenly, Trojan war trumpets echoed across the beach, signaling reinforcements rushing from the inner gates. A fresh wave of disciplined Trojans charged, determined to reclaim the beach and drive Achilles back into the sea.
Seeing the oncoming assault spiked.
Instead of waiting, Achilles sprinted ahead alone, meeting the new Trojan wave before it reached the Greek lines.
The two forces collided violently, but Achilles struck first, driving deep into their ranks with devastating precision. A seasoned Trojan commander stepped forward, determined to stop Achilles before the battle slipped completely from Troy's control.
Their eyes locked, each recognizing the other as a worthy adversary, an inevitable clash shaped by fate and duty. His architectural works left an indelible mark, turning Ramses into one of the greatest builders in history.
Achilles and the Trojan commander traded furious blows, each strike sending echoes of steel across the battlefield's blood-stained sand.
The commander countered fiercely, driving Achilles back a step, proof that this foe carried skill, not fear.
With sudden precision, Achilles redirected the assault, regaining control as if guided by instinct and destiny combined.
Nearby Trojans froze mid-battle, watching their commander struggle, realizing Achilles was far more than a mortal opponent.
Achilles struck a powerful blow, staggering the commander and breaking the rhythm of their brutal clash. Weakened and breathless, the commander collapsed to one knee, understanding Achilles' strength exceeded human limits.
Instead of delivering a killing blow, Achilles paused, granting brief mercy to a worthy adversary. Grateful and shaken, the commander ordered a retreat, knowing continued resistance would only feed Troy's mounting losses. Seeing the enemy falter, the Greeks surged forward once more, shouting triumphantly as the tide of war shifted. At the front of the charge, Achilles pressed ahead, carving a path toward the heart of Troy's defenses. The Trojan front lines buckled entirely, their fighters overwhelmed by the relentless force driving from Achilles' unstoppable advance. Achilles pushed deeper, cutting through the last pockets of resistance as fear spread faster than the fighting itself. High on the cliffs, Troy's archers attempted to intervene, raining arrows desperately toward the advancing Greek champion. Achilles weaved through the incoming barrage, moving with impossible speed as arrows struck the sand around him. One arrow skimmed dangerously close, grazing his armor. a reminder that even legends can be touched by fate.
Greek warriors raised shields to cover Achilles' advance, creating a moving wall that protected him from the archers above.
Together, they marched steadily upward, pushing the Trojans back toward the very edge of their defenses. Unable to hold the beach any longer, Trojan forces retreated toward the city walls, shouting frantic calls for reinforcement.
Achilles halted just before the rising slope to Troy, his eyes fixed on the city that awaited him. He felt destiny tightening around him, knowing this victory on the beach was only the beginning of a far darker path. From the high walls, Trojan citizens watched in stunned silence, realizing Greece now controlled the once unbreakable shoreline. Black smoke drifted upward from burning siege gear and broken shields, marking the beach as newly claimed Greek ground. Achilles walked through the aftermath, stepping past fallen warriors, each footprint carrying the weight of destiny fulfilled and awaited.
Greek warriors cheered Achilles' victory, their exhausted smiles revealing renewed hope for the long war ahead.
Yet Achilles remained distant, unmoved by celebration, carrying an awareness that triumph always demanded a greater price.
Patroclus approached cautiously, sensing the weight Achilles bore despite the overwhelming victory achieved. Softly, Achilles admitted his fear, not of battle, but of the prophecy whispering that his glory demanded sacrifice.
Patroclus reassured him, insisting destiny was not yet written, and that today's victory proved resistance was still possible. Yet Achilles' gaze drifted toward Troy's distant walls, sensing the true battle had only begun beyond those towering stones.
He felt fate tightening around him, whispering that today's triumph would lead him toward both.
As the battle faded, silence returned to the beach, echoing the cost of Greece's difficult and bloody victory.
Achilles watched the fading sunlight bleed across the horizon, knowing this day marked only the war's grim beginning.
Behind him, Greek soldiers built fortifications, preparing for the long siege ahead, unaware of the tragedies destiny would unfold.
Far away, Trojans withdrew behind their massive walls, shaken but determined to endure whatever Greece would unleash next.
Achilles wiped blood from his blade, each stroke revealing the heavy toll the day had carved into him.
In that brief moment, Achilles sensed destiny advancing toward him.
Though unseen, the gods watched silently.
Thus began the story of Achilles at Troy, a tale of unmatched valor, impossible fate, and the cost of eternal glory.